Hey everyone, Tornado Allie here with your weekly blog update. First up, we're going to talk about last Saturday because it was a little bit of a unique weather day. Why is that? Well, we had a lot of water spouts, believe it or not, and on the Great Lakes. Here's a look at just one of them. This is coming out of Milwaukee. Now, in total, we had 8 water spouts on last Saturday. Now, 5 of those were in the Chicago area. The other 3 were off the Milwaukee shoreline. That's where this one happens to be. Now, you can see the bridge right through there. It's right there, and it's actually relatively large. Now, we also have another picture for you. This one also off the Milwaukee shoreline as well. You can see Marquette University right there in the bottom of the image, and that right there is the tornado that you can see kind of centered in the middle section of that image. Now, thankfully, none of these really made it onto land, and most of them usually don't, and even if they do, they generally can't maintain themselves long enough to do any damage once they make it on land. Some interesting facts for you about waterspouts on the Great Lakes area. Now, the biggest outbreak they've ever had in the Great Lakes was about 8 years ago, from September 27th to October 3rd back in 2003. That section of 6 days, they had a total of 66 waterspouts. 21 of them were in just one day, so it's a lot. But this time of year tends to be prime time for those Great Lakes because they have that warm water and then they get that cold rush of air coming down from Canada as the seasons do start to change. Now, on to Sunday. Last Sunday, we had a little bit of an outbreak with severe weather. It was a very small area. It really only affected Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, and also parts of Kentucky. This picture you see here, this was a funnel cloud report out of Memphis. Now, no confirmations that anything ever actually touched ground, but several reports of that funnel cloud just north of the city of Memphis. Here's the storm reports for that day. You can see a total of 10 tornado reports stretching all the way from Indiana down to Mississippi and Arkansas. We also had some pretty large hail mixed within there and also some damaging wind reports up around 70 miles per hour. So definitely a lot of severe weather that day, but it was kind of limited to just a small section of the country, and so that was good news. Now on to Monday and Tuesday of last week. Not your normal weather to talk about, space weather. We actually had an early autumn geomagnetic storm those days. This right here is a picture of some of the northern lights that folks were able to see. This is out of Minnesota, the northeastern section of it, where they were able to see the northern lights for both days. And that's all thanks to the coronal mass ejection that came off of the sun and made its way towards Earth. It actually happened and left the sun on Saturday, but it took it until Monday and Tuesday to actually make it here. Now, here's a look. These are the particular spots that they've been keeping an eye on, they being NASA, over the next couple of weeks, because we could end up seeing more northern lights and even farther south of Minnesota if any of these decide to come off and make their way towards Earth. So NASA's keeping an eye on all of them, mainly this particular one that I've put the blue arrow on, that's 1302. And you can track any of these at NASA's website if you'd like to keep an eye on them as well. Now we head over to Wednesday. Also a little bit of a severe weather day, not big enough and not compared to what we had Sunday, but still 2 tornado reports, one of which was over in Monroe County, Michigan. The other one was in Columbia, North Carolina. Now, unfortunately, the one in North Carolina did cause an injury. The EF1 tornado destroyed a mobile home in that area, and that's where that injury was a result from. But you can see we also had a few strong wind reports, a couple up around that 60-mile-per-hour range, and a few small hail reports as well out of that. Now on to Saturday. Today, it's going to be a very cold day today. Take a look at this. This is the departure from normal high temperatures around the area. In fact, we actually have 10 states, that's right, 10 states under frost advisories for tonight. Now this afternoon, temperatures still much colder than normal. Notice basically the whole eastern half of the country is going to be anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees below normal. Quite the opposite in the western section, at least most of the western section, where they're 10 to 20 degrees above normal. The exception is right there along the west coast. They're slightly below normal as well. But the key thing here is tonight's low temperatures, because that's where the frost starts to set in. We've got several states throughout here that are going to be seeing temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Knoxville, for example, doesn't normally see their average first frost until October 27th. This will be a full 25 days before they would normally see that, if they actually end up getting anything out of it tonight. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, you can see the rest of the archive videos on YouTube and right here at tornadoalley.com.